Hi, this is Stephanie Hansen, and you are listening to The Makers of Minnesota, where we are talking to cool people doing cool things. And there's a lot of cool people in the state, like from food makers to today, we have a beauty product maker. We have Jana Soyseth, who's here, and the company is Lucia Botanica. You are getting ready to be at the Christmas market coming up.
I am on November 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Yes.
There is the Minneapolis Holiday Boutique show at US Bank Stadium. I'm at booth 323.
And there are, I have heard that there are like 29,000 people coming to this.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's, all of the makers and business owners invite all of their family and friends. So it's pretty big. There's an artisan section too. So
I'm going to come.
Yeah.
I'm going to check it out.
Definitely.
And you are here with your husband, Luke Soyseth. So if you hear a man's voice, that's who he
That's
is.
me, yes.
Also a business partner. And you guys are serial entrepreneurs that I've known for a while because you have a graphic design and would we say ad agency business?
Yeah.
Called Mod & Co.
Right. Yeah. We've been around doing Mod & Co. for about 20 years now.
Mm-hmm. How did you decide? So explain a little bit about the design business because you guys have a unique partnership, I think, in how you do that.
Mm-hmm. So I came from the graphic design side, and Luke came from the writing side. So we don't step on each other's toes. So that works. I think that helps when it comes to a marriage and owning a business.
Absolutely.
Together.
You need to have a clear lane.
Right. And so, we just went out and we started networking. And when we first started, and we got that up and running with a few local clients. And then
do you remember who your first client was?
Oh, who was it, Luke?
It was the jazz business, the jazz restaurant.
The Dakota?
The Dakota. Yeah. A friend of mine worked there at the time. Yep.
The headline said, "Think outside the Dakota." We did an ad for them
cute.
when they opened up their outside.
Their patio.
Yeah, which is a really nice patio.
Yeah. It was back, when they're in their other location.
Sure.
But, and then we started doing some responses to requests for proposals and picked up some nice government type clients and
the good paying ones.
Yeah. They're kind of nice because, you have a contract for a certain amount of time. And we just kind of word spread, it's all word of mouth. We never have advertised ourselves in any way, but.
So what's interesting about looking at you, because I'm kind of staring at your face while you're talking, I'm like, okay, because you're a woman of a certain age and you are not very wrinkly at all.
Oh, thank you.
So I'm curious how you're in this business with your husband. And I know because we did some printing for you guys at my old company, I know your business was solid. What was it that you decided like, wow, I need to get into, of all things, skincare?
So, that kind of started, it was kind of filling a need that I couldn't find a product that I wanted. I wanted to do something with my daughter as well. So she's kind of part of the Lucia Botanica too. But we both had this sort of hormonal acne problem. And me, I just turned 50. So, during that, a lot of changing going on in my body. And so I was in search of something that wouldn't dry out my skin, because a lot of that really does, you put it on, it dries it out, and it's like this never ending circle of, dryness and then breaking out under the dry. I mean, it was
and
just,
your skin is reacting to that and trying to heal and creating more oil.
Right, exactly. And so, along with my daughter, we kind of talked about, what kind of a business would, we want to do. And
how old is she?
She's 14.
So had she, because she'd always seen the two of you be solo entrepreneurs, was that just like a given?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was partly she was interested in it, and for us being business owners, we wanted to really show her, entrepreneurship.
Sure.
And, what you have to do, and, how you market a business and all that. And so she has been helpful in the way that she's really into the beauty products and, all of her friends, she knows what's hot and what's selling right now really well. So that's been really helpful, because I take a little cue from her on those types of things, and she tries all of my products, and I'm trying to teach her now how to formulate as well. So I'll back up a little. We decided that we wanted to, do this beauty thing, but we wanted it to be all natural, just because of a lot of the studies that we had read about, things affecting the hormonal system in your body.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to kind of really gear it towards completely natural plant-based ingredients. So I went back to school and learned how to formulate organic skincare.
Wow, where did you go?
It was an online course out of the UK. It's called Formula Botanica, and it's amazing school. I would recommend it to anyone who's interested in getting into it. But they're super helpful. Everything's online, but you feel like you're kind of in an in-person classroom because there's Facebook Live.
Isn't that
things
so
going.
cool?
It's so cool.
You
Yeah.
could just have taken this course to learn how to do this from the UK.
Right.
Very
right.
cool.
Yeah. So so that's kind of what got me into it, and then I spent the last 2 years developing a line that could help with the acne, the hormonal acne part of it. So I launched that about a year ago, and then I've kind of continued to add some products in.
Yeah, there's argan body blends, hair and beard care.
Yep.
Soap.
Yep,
A lot of oil-based
I actually
products.
brought a
Thanks.
little something for you. So I brought you the French green clay mask, which is papaya and pineapple enzymes in there that help exfoliate. And then I brought you a little, I call it About Face. It's a moisturizer, and that's Luke's.
That's my favorite. Yeah, that's what
People ask me sometimes, because I was a cancer survivor, like, well, what do you use? I use essential oils for deodorant, and then I've always just slathered my face in oil.
Yeah.
Always have. Even it like olive oil, or in the day I even use like baby oil and vegetable oil because I'm kind of just dry.
Right.
And then I started putting it on my hair, and I always just have slathered myself in oil, which people think is so funny, but that is becoming more of a trend now, that instead of the creams and the tonics, that really a lot of these essential oil-based oils and plant-based oils are really good for you.
Right. They are. There's a lot of omega-6 fatty acids in the oils that are really good for repairing skin. And one thing that people, they think like, an oil, if you have oily skin, don't put an oil on your skin, but it's the complete opposite, because the oil can actually help balance your skin, so you're not overproducing that.
Right.
It's that dryness, and it makes your overproduce the sebum, and that makes your face look oily. But if you're actually kind of balancing it with providing these fatty acids that it needs, then
it's not having to work so hard.
Right.
When I saw your product right away, I was like, oh, this is really beautifully designed. So obviously you designed it, right?
Right. Yeah. And actually, we had some of our designers who I would like to thank also. Our designers are awesome that work for Mod. And so they helped out a lot too. So yeah, it was kind of a team effort.
So you now have soaps, and you have oils, and you have things for men too with beard oils. Mm-hmm. So now you have all of these products, and you formulate them. Mm-hmm. So like, is inventory, like, how do you know how much to inventory? Because are you primarily selling online or at pop-ups?
Yeah, it's primarily online right now. At pop-ups, I'm working on getting into some more wholesale. So we've just been trying to kind of, feel our way through that, because it's our first, as far as tracking inventory. We come from a service-based business, so it's something we're learning every day about. So I getting ready for this show, I had to order ingredients about 3 different times just to make sure that I had enough for the holiday, enough product. So it's kind of we're kind of feeling our way through it.
And if you go and you sell out, like at this show, let's just say that happens, then do you have to go into mass production mode because you will have holiday orders, I'm assuming?
Right, exactly.
And do you market so people order online currently or find you to pop up? Do you market like through SEO, or how do people find you?
Yeah, currently SEO, social media. I do a lot of Instagram and Facebook. I I will be running some Facebook ads as soon as we kind of make it through this holiday season,
Do you do that for your existing client base so you have a little bit of like, you know what to do?
Right. Mm-hmm.
I have heard that the way to do Facebook marketing is as niche as you can.
Yes.
That's whatever money you have, you laser target it on. So for
on your demographic, yep.
I'm assuming you're going to do like women XYZ age to XYZ age.
Right.
Do you like test? Do you do A/B testing? Or?
I do sometimes. Well, for our current clients for Mod, we do A/B testing. Whether it be testing two different images that might affect someone differently, or a video versus a carousel ad.
Sure.
Those types of things, but it could even be a headline that we might test.
And Facebook tends to be, I believe, more women focused anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And Instagram is obviously pretty women focused too.
Right.
So you're set up for some success there.
Right.
Does your daughter help with that because they're so adept at social media?
She does. She helps with just kind of putting the word out on social media herself. I mean, it's a whole new generation. A 14-year-old on social media.
She's probably in TikTok, I would assume, too.
She is. Yeah. She's on all the popular platforms. So, and so she'll sometimes even teach me things about social media, that I wasn't aware of. So she'll do some photos for me once in a while, some lifestyle shots.
Do you feel like, I was just talking to someone about Instagram the other day, and my instinct has been that it's getting a little less refined, that it's more organic, more aspirational, inspirational, and also more authentic and not so staged and not so posed. And that sounds ironic because there's all these like Instagram influencers that make everything look like they just took the shot, but then you see they have a camera crew of 20.
Right.
But in a lifestyle product, and particularly a beauty product, like you have to really feel that. Are you feeling like it's more organic in its authenticity, or are you really like scheduling all these shoots and then trying to make it look organic?
Yeah, that's balance. I think you really try and do it right. I mean, I believe that authenticity is the number one. So I always try to focus there, but I do, just because of time constraints, I have to, take photos at, a certain time, because I may not have time to do it, in the next week. So there is some scheduling involved too. So it's a little, kind of a balance, I think, of trying to be authentic, but also, getting in the time that you need to take, decent quality photos.
This is kind of a weird statement too, but someone said our age, and I'm your same age, our age thinks of Facebook and Instagram like ads. So they think of it like images and pictures and like you're composing an ad, right? And then like someone younger this is all they've ever known, they think of it like not like an ad at all, but like a canvas. And it's this creativity and it's showing the product in its natural setting and the way you would use it. And so those staged photographs or product photography, as it were, doesn't appeal to them at all.
Right, right.
So in some of the brands that I'm working on in the social media space, we're right in that line of, we think we need product shots and we think we need this salad to look a certain way, when really what people want to see is that you're just putting 3 ingredients into a bowl and drizzling the dressing over it and tossing it.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? And I think Facebook or Instagram stories really helps to loosen you up a little bit too, because it doesn't seem like people are expecting it to be so formal.
And it goes away so fast.
Yeah.
And that's usually, I tell the clients, like, if we want to be a little more informal and it feels more comfortable to you to do it in the story setting, then let's do that.
Right.
Until you get, a little more of a feel for it.
Yeah.
And it is weird on your feed. Like, you have all these beautiful shots. And then to kind of throw a random, not well lit, it just sort of ends up looking kind of brown or gray.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I imagine with beauty, you're thinking about that all the time.
I am. Yeah. I'm trying to, create a brand look online that's consistent. I mean, we've been in that business for quite a while. So to have a product that I can actually, work with some of that on and really create sort of a feel around it, I think is, it's important to me.
Do you tag products and do you actually sell right from the online space?
I haven't sold directly from Instagram or Facebook. They've come through there, but they've gone to the website to purchase. Mm-hmm. So, but they've found me on Instagram. Mm-hmm.
And let's talk about hashtags for a minute, because again, I think talking to you, you're in this really competitive space. Mm-hmm. Hashtags are in one way identifying yourself and tagging your brand and all of that. And if someone wants to follow your brand, they can do it that way. But there's this whole school of like niche hashtags and micro hashtags. And do you think that you're getting people to see your product from hashtagging?
Yes, I
Tell
think
me
so.
about that.
Well, I've posted, several times with maybe 1 or 2 hashtags. And then I'll do a little more, research on specific hashtag. And so I'll start using more and more. And then I see the audience grow with that. So I think especially, my products are all vegan. And there's a big vegan
there is.
crowd out there. So I really get a lot from that. I get a lot of engagement through the vegan community.
And are you using like hashtag vegan or hashtag vegan, but then trying to find the nichier micro hashtags?
So I use like hashtag vegan beauty products. Or hashtag green beauty products and that sort of a thing. So I try to narrow it a little bit, so that maybe it's a hashtag that has about anywhere from 10 to 50,000
versus the ones that are like
really
salad.
Big. Yeah.
And do you I just lost my train of... how many do you use? Like you can use up to 30.
I use as many as I can.
You do, because there's a whole school of thought now like well, you should really only use 5 to 10. At that point, it's overload. And then other people are like, no, you should use as many as you can.
Yeah, I mean, I figure you can use that many, so why not? Know, if you can reach more people, then why not use
Do you
them all?
tag in your post or do you tag in comments?
Well, I do both. Sometimes
why do you do both?
I just kind of try to test it to see if it, anything. If people were to, have more engagement doing it one way or another. I haven't really noticed anything.
Yeah.
But so I think it looks a little neater if it's in the comments rather than in the post. But so I'll continue to play, I think.
And are you using any influencer marketing, either paid or unpaid yet?
Yeah, well, I just started some influencer marketing. So it's actually with an online program that they set you up with micro influencers.
What's it called?
It's called Shirley.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it's new. It's in beta right now. And they actually reached out to me and gave me sort of a deal to start.
Yeah.
So what they do is they go out and they collect... they give you a list in your industry, in your niche area, and then you upload that to their program, and you do all of your emails through this program. So you do all the reaching out through there. And then out of, if you have a list of 100, they figure you'll get about 10 influencers that are interested. And then you send them product.
Yep.
And then this Shirley program collects all of your stories, all of everything, every post that all of these influencers have done. So you can keep them and so they don't disappear. You can reuse them on your own social media.
On your platform.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's a way to collect all of that.
Right.
It is when you're doing it for a client, like someone will post something and you didn't check your Instagram that day for them. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, there were 2 stories that I missed. And I don't have it tagged.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I think just keeping it all in one place is really, otherwise you can be looking, where did that post go?
And you're trying to follow hashtags.
Right.
And social media is 24/7. So it can feel really like a full-time job for a lot of entrepreneurs.
Right. Right. So I just started this program. So I have, the verdict isn't in yet, but I'm hoping that it's, because it really does seem like I can make it a little easier and,
Are there people that you benchmark against in the beauty space? Like Aveda obviously comes to mind, or Intelligent Nutrients, or people that have plant-based products. And Aveda maybe a little less since it's been bought by Estee Lauder. And not the same,
right.
But
Right. You mean as far as like the quality of ingredients, or as far as
I guess all of it. Like, are there people that you admire that you go, oh, that's interesting. This person did this. Maybe I should think about that. Or this person is marketing this way. Maybe I should look at that.
Yeah, I mean, I've always followed like Herbivore Botanicals. I really like their products. Just they started at a farmer's market too, and so it's kind of a similar path. But I really kind of try to just stay in my lane and focus on, because otherwise I feel like you get, sort of a, you feel like, oh, they're so much better than me, and so much, and you get this thing in your head. So if I just like focus and stay in my lane, that doesn't happen as often.
I actually love that thought. You don't have the FOMO of I should be doing more. Like I'm not doing enough. And because that's a real thing that entrepreneurs face,
right?
Particularly if they have other jobs, which you do. Right. It's like, oh, I can never do enough. I can never keep up.
Yeah,
and it can feel a little self-defeating. So I like that you have turned that inward into I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this to the best of my ability and focus on me.
Yeah. I mean, I always, I keep an eye out on Instagram, and I'll follow people once in a while, or, products, just mostly to see like packaging and things like that are interesting to me. But, I try to, just keep my mind in the right spot so that I don't feel like, oh, I can never do this, and
how do you balance, and Luke, maybe you can chime in on this. So you have a day job, which is your primary job in your partnership that you're in, but now you have this other business. Do you like one day a week I work on this business, or is it just that each day you are doing both? How does that all work?
Yeah, I think it is. We're lucky in that we run the other business as well. So we have some freedom to move around a little bit and take some time off over here, or change my hours, or do that sort of a thing. So
is it structured or more organic?
It's more organic. It's as needed and so on. Right now we're ramping up for the holidays, so we're quite busy, and taking a little time away from Mod to work on this and the event as well.
Yep.
So yes, it's pretty organic at this point.
Mm-hmm. And it must be. So and I don't know why I'm looking at you, Luke, but maybe because you're the man and I'm sexist. So you know that Mod and Company, I'm making up numbers here. Like whatever work you generate, it makes $100 an hour for the family.
Right.
And like this business probably isn't making $100 an hour or anything at this point. So do you have to keep your eye on, okay, this is our business that pays us the money that keeps us going to work on that. How do you think about that, or do you talk about that?
Absolutely, we do. Yeah, absolutely, because we can't take so much away from the one to do this. However, we're so excited about this, and we've got so much belief in it right now that it's hard to not.
Yeah, and I like a new thing is always fun, right? Shiny new toy, over here, over here,
yeah. Right? Yeah.
And if your daughter's involved in it too, that adds a whole component just as family time and work family time. You guys happen to work from home, so
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you always work?
Luke's
saying yes, he's shaking his head.
I do, but Mod feels a little more work to me because it's a little more formal. We have contracts and
you're working on other clients' projects.
Yeah, deadlines, and whereas this other Lucia Botanica is just it's kind of a passion, and something that I enjoy doing. So it doesn't seem as much like work as as Mod might.
So have you had other pop-ups?
Yes, we do a maker's market actually on Grand Avenue that we, as Mod, we coordinate that maker's market. So it's a small one just in the bread and chocolate building. And that one's coming up on November 23rd.
I didn't know that you guys coordinated that.
Yeah, our Grand Avenue is one of our ESCOM properties is one of our clients. So they're great to work with, and they wanted us to create some events in that space. So,
what other makers come to that event? Are there any that come top of mind?
Let's see. Oh my, who's on the list this year? So there's a couple of fine artists. There's some jewelry makers.
Chocolates.
Chocolate, yeah.
Fun.
Dancing Bear chocolate is one. They're really good chocolate.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down.
Dancing Bear chocolate. I'll have to look at my list this year and see. I can get you with it.
Yeah, it's a great little event. It's not big. We have 25 to 30 makers.
Yeah.
That's pretty big.
Yeah. Not through the roof though, and it's easy to get through, and people are real excited. We don't charge for it.
Yeah, people can just come, and that's fun.
Yeah.
Hell Raising Hot Sauce is another one.
They do a great job.
Yeah.
They come to some of my markets that I do.
Yeah. It's fun.
When I was looking at your website, one thing stuck out to me about the mission, and that you are mission based in trying to engage more girls and women in science and in the formulation piece of this. Why is that important to you?
Well, I think just seeing my daughter at the age that she's in, and that she's very excited about science and very good at science right now, and that's not an uncommon thing. And often it tends to women steer, somewhere else after they get out into college.
Kind of right around junior high and high school, it kind of falls apart.
Right. So it's just to, try to encourage young girls and women to stick with it, because there's a lot of jobs out there, and a lot of jobs are being filled by men because there aren't enough women in that industry. And there are fun things you can do as sciences, whether it's formulating or whether it's, a food scientist or, things like that can be really interesting. But it's just trying to persuade them to stick with it and, make a career out of it. They could have a wonderful career in science if they were to, stay with it. So
when you went back to school to learn the formulas and how to formulate these products, did you have to learn like more math? And I mean, that had to be kind of daunting to go back into that school environment. And
definitely. Yeah. There's
chemistry.
A lot of chemistry, a lot of math involved. There's a lot of, learning about each of these ingredients, as far as their fatty acid content and things like that. So there's quite a bit involved, and I'm still learning every day. But yeah, it's something that I wish I would have kept up with when I was, after school. I went into the travel industry, I think, and then into marketing. But this is something that has always interested me, is the field of science. So.
What's your number one seller?
I would say the About face, which I gave you a little sample of here, but that's my family, my nieces and nephews, and everyone uses it in the family, and they love it. So,
what is it specifically? Is it a facial oil?
Yeah, it's a moisturizer.
Okay.
So it's a really light cream moisturizer or lotion. Yeah.
It is nice. That's the one that I really like. When I was growing up, I moved out with my sister as a young man, and she turned me on to Clinique products, and I couldn't afford that, but I bought it anyway because I wanted to. So I've always used the Clinique face lotion like all my life. And then when she was starting this, I said, well, I use Clinique, so I'm not, and she said, well, let's try mine. So she did it, and it's very, very similar and in all respects. But what struck me, and what this whole thing struck me with, is that it really is all natural, and everything that's in it, what it is. We don't think about the skin as a
breathing organism.
A breathing organism, but it is, right? Everything we rub on our skin goes into our body, and if you look at some of the different lotions and stuff, and just read that list of chemicals in there, it's just mind-boggling, So I was so impressed, and that's what got me excited about this. Is like, wow, this is good. The quality is amazing, and it really is natural. And so that feels good.
So we have a couple places where we can see you. So November, is it 6th? No, it's the 8th, 9th, and 10th.
8th, 9th, and 10th at US Bank Stadium for the Holiday Boutique.
Number 323. I wrote it down
323,
because I'm going to come.
Yep. And then at the Makers Market on Grand Avenue on November 23rd.
All right. So are there other makers that you've encountered in your life that I always ask people, like, is there anybody that inspired you that you're like, oh, they're so cool?
So many. I don't know. There's so many. So I used to, I kind of still do. I run a blog that I just put out marketing tips and things for makers. And
where is it?
It's janasoyseth.com.
Okay.
But I haven't updated it for a while because I've been a little busy doing this other.
That's all right. It's
this
probably
other thing.
Evergreen content there that could be useful for makers.
Yeah. So there's just at these markets, I just see there's so many different types of makers that, just it's just to follow them on Instagram and follow their stories. But I don't think any one particular maker.
Right.
All right. Well, we'll go to the blog to see some tips. Where can people buy your products, or where do you want them to find you first?
They could go to luciabotanica.com. It's Lucia Botanica.
Is Lucia your daughter?
Lucia's her middle name. Lucia was actually Luke's grandmother.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I liked the Lucia comes from it's kind of the meaning is like a bringer of light in darkness.
Like sure.
And it's kind of there's a form of it in almost every language, I think. So we really just like the name. So.
It's great. And then what's your Instagram? Is it Lucia Botanica?
It's lucia.botanica.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So thank you for being on the program.
Thank
I hope
you
you
so
sell
much.
crap tons.
Thank you.
At these markets. So many that you have to go back into formulation mode.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Yeah. Do you formulate in like a lab, or where do you formulate?
Yeah. So we had an extra room in our house. So I kind of made that into a lab.
Cool.
And yeah. So I'm kind of running out of space.
Like a mad scientist in there.
I know.
Yeah.
Close the door and I
there
have things
isn't
bubbling.
probably like for food makers, there's, commercial kitchens, and there probably isn't like commercial labs.
Well, I don't know, actually. I'm
Maybe
not
that's
sure.
the next frontier for you to conquer.
Right. I think so. I think, having just a separate space is important, because you want to keep it, ultra clean and, but yeah, I look forward to maybe someday getting a little bit bigger warehouse area so I have a room to spread out a little bit.
Yeah. That would be super fun. Well,
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank
It's really
you.
good to catch up with you guys.
Yeah, you too.
Lucia Botanica. You can find them online, find them on Instagram, pop into any of the markets that they're going to be in for holidays, and pick up their very, very cool and well-designed products. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.